Isang magandang umaga po sa ating lahat at ako po ay nagpapasalamat sa ating Panginoon at nagising po tayo muli sa isang umagang puno ng pag-asa. At dalangin ko na sa umagang ito ay tayong lahat po ay nasa malusog na pangangatawan at pag-iisip. Welcome po muli sa 11:43 DZMR para po sa ating programang Usapang Pangkalusugan. Ako po muli si Dr. Jennifer Gatiwan C., your program host, at samahan niyo po ako sa loob ng kalahating oras at pag-usapan natin ang isang napapanahong usapin tuwing tag-araw. So, it's officially the start of summer vacation sa ating mga estudyante, sa ating mga kabataan. At since na-adjust po ang ating academic year noong pong pandemic, so lately po ay patapos na yung mga school activities. And during summer, no, kadalasan ng ating mga Pinoy boys are being circumcised or tinutuli sa ganitong mga panahon. Dahil sa ganitong panahon ay may time silang magpagaling dahil nga po bakasyon. So sa ating bansang Pilipinas, kadalasan nga po ay ginagawa itong rite of passage ng pagtutuli dahil this is a rite of passage from childhood to manhood, ika nga. At ang roots po nitong circumcision sa ating bansa, itong pagtutuli, can be traced back, no, even before the arrival of the Spanish conquerors dahil daw po ay nung palang around 1400s during the arrival of Islam according to some anthropologists. So nung dumating nga pong mga Kastila, we are now under the Christian rule. The practice persisted as a cultural rite. And male circumcision tends to be more common in nations tulad ng ating bansa na there are significant Muslim and Catholic or even Jewish population. And sa ating bansa po, it is reported that around 90% of Filipino children or Filipino males are circumcised by traditional or, of course, nowadays, medical procedures. And as Filipinos began to adopt tule, it became a rite of passage for boys, no, to achieve masculinity, sabi nga nila. And some non-medically trained circumcisers, ito yung tawag nating manunuli, ay ginagawa daw po nila itong procedure na to at around, earliest is around 8 years old to an average bago po pumasok ng teenage years. So, ang ginagawa po ng traditional na mga manunuli ay pinagbababad muna sa ilog yung mga bata for about an hour at sila nga po ay pangunguyain ng dahon ng bayabas na kung saan ay yun din po yung ipapahid nila after nilang matuli. Ang old procedure po ng manunuli ay usually ini-stretch niya yung balat at nakaipit doon ng isang kahoy at yung kahoy na yon ay pupukpukin. Kaya po yung procedure ay tawag nila ay pukpok para po matuli. So that procedure, I mean, yun po yung the old way. Pero ngayon, syempre ginagawa na po ito medically, hygienically with physicians, mga doctors, surgeons, nurses na under local anesthesia pa nga para ma-lessen yung pain. Okay? Pero I think even sa mga far-flung barrios ay ginagawa pa din daw ito. And 60% of boys undergoing tule because of this will report complications lalo na kung talagang very unhygienic yung pagkakagawa. Kaya po during summertime, actually nga during election seasons, ay isa po to sa mga programa even of our politicians. So dahil nga po sa ating bansa, tuli has such a strong tradition that boys are willing to endure the pain to avoid being called supot dahil pag tinawag po silang supot or uncircumcised, ang implication po neto ay pagkatakot or pagkaduwag, no? At syempre ayaw nila yon. So 1/3 of circumcised males have reported that they will endure, no, to get rid of that foreskin. Okay? Other reasons for undergoing tuli include the belief that pag ikaw daw ay natuli, tatangkad ka, gagandang iyong pangangatawan, syempre mas popogi. However, no, sabi natin kanina, yung procedure na pagtutuli ay ginagawa po at around 8 years old pinakamaaga or during teens. So, this is during the pre-puberty, adolescent stage, early adolescent, na kung saan talaga naman nagkakaroon ng growth spurt na kabataang mga kalalakihan. So, tatangkad na sila. So, this is more of hormonal than because of nagpatuli. At syempre, yung pagtangkad ay, syempre, genetically, kung matangkad ang father mo, mother mo, mas matangkad ka din. And of course, nutrition. So, huwag po nating pabayaang kulang sa nutrition ng ating mga anak para mas may chance pa silang gumanda ang kanilang pangangatawan. So lately, meron din namang mga opposition sa procedure na to. Actually, mas common po ito sa ibang bansa. Pero dito sa atin ay dumadami na rin, no? So, ano ba yung mga dahilan nila kung bakit ayaw nila magpatuli? There are at least 3, but there are more. Sabi nila, no, pag nagpatuli daw, this is a form of amputation. So, most common myths about circumcision is akala naputol, pero actually, it's only the foreskin, yung balat lang naman ang tinanggal. So, it will only remove around 20 to 50% of the foreskin. So, walang napuputol. No? So, technically, the foreskin is still intact. Number 2 na circumcision myth is, sabi nila, it's a form of mutilation daw. So, this is just an exaggeration because doctors will just remove surgically only a part of the foreskin, pero yung pong penis mismo ay hindi po na-harm, okay, na-mutilate in any way. So, sabi nga natin kanina, itong procedure na to, even before na sabihin natin for medical reason, circumcision is already being done for religious and cultural reasons even by the Judaism or Islam. Mamaya bibigyan po natin yan ng emphasis before we end. No? And of course, medically for hygienic purposes. Another myth or kung bakit ayaw nilang magpatuli is they say that this can cause psychological problem daw or tinatawag nilang post-traumatic stress disorder. Pero according to research, they still have yet to find yung definite proof that circumcision can cause post-traumatic stress disorder. Ang meron actually is, according to American Academy of Pediatrics, no, they are more in favor of circumcision, no, because this is being backed by scientific evidence that circumcision can reduce the risk of UTI in babies, as well as sa mga adults naman, this can lower the risk of tinatawag nating penile cancer and even sexually transmitted diseases. Sa older age group, circumcision can also slightly lower the risk of developing prostate cancer. So, ito yung mga medically backed up research na pro-circumcision. Sa ating bansa, no, doctor said, yun, nasabi na kanina, UTI is less common among circumcised kids and there are lower risk of penile problems tulad ng yung phimosis, yung maliit yung daluyan ng yung sa foreskin, maliit yung butas. Dahil because of that, nagkakaroon sila ng it's a form of urinary tract infection na related because of penile problem, namamaga yung penis. Okay? And of course, pag natanggal, easier hygiene maintenance to wash the penis. Some studies show that good hygiene can help prevent certain problems, no? Nasabi natin kanina, infection and swelling. So, circumcision, therefore, sa ating bansa, has evolved over the past few decades from just being a ritual into a medical procedure performed by, of course, the healthcare practitioners. And ang ating mga magulang ay dapat po ay ma-inform, no? Ma-educate about circumcisions and the safety procedure para as they undergo through this procedure ay mas mas ligtas ang ating mga anak, lalo na sa mga sakit na tetanus. Dahil nga po, this is a form of surgical procedure pa din. So, what to expect? Alam naman na natin, this is a cultural thing, no? Siyempre, may konting pain, may konting pagdurugo, okay? May konting irritation, okay? Pero yung nga pong nasabi natin kanina, yung mga benefits ay madami. So, ang pagtutuli po ay ginagawa even as early as bagong panganak sa Bible, around 8 days old, na kung saan yung kanilang clotting factors nga po ay yung para ma-lessen yung bleeding symptoms ay maayos na. So, ideally, the earliest is around after 1 week of age. Yun, sa teenagers, ito nga sa ating bansa, and even for adults. So, paano po pine-prepare ang isang bata o isang tao na i-anesthesia? Siyempre, kailangan linisin muna. So, tapos, may anesthesiang inilalagay. Okay? So, ito po ay ini-inject. Okay? So, technically, ideally, surgeon po yung gumagawa, no? Urologist. But for babies, pwedeng yung OB or yung pediatrician mismo yung gumagawa ng procedure. So, there are different kinds of tuli, ika nga, no? Meron din tayong tinatawag na dorsal slit, meron din tayong tinatawag na German cut. Pag sinabing dorsal slit is, tatanggalin lang buong buo yung 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 pinakabalot, okay? Pero yung German cut, yung cut is made around the prepuce that will result in a longer bleeding period. So, medyo mas complicated daw yung German cut. So, during the newborn circumcision, inihiga yan para nang maayos, para kitang-kitang kanyang penis or kanyang are, and of course, i-anesthetize. So, the same thing with adults. And there are 3 kinds of circumcision method. Meron po yung mas common po sa baby, tinatawag na Gomco clamp. Ayan. So, meron pong gadget na tinatawag na Gomco. Ayan, na doon po i-insert yung penis para mas lumabas po yung penile head. Ayun, at doon sa part na nakalabas na yung extra skin, doon po ikakat. Meron din po tinatawag na Mogen clamp. Meron naman daw probe na gagamitin to separate the glands and the foreskin. Ito na sa mga teenager. Ito kadalasan yung ginagawa pag mga project tuli. Okay, so meron device na shaped like a bell. Ayan, para ma-pull yung skin. Ayan, tapos doon po i-cut using the scalpel. Okay, so yun po yung Mogen clamp. Okay, the other one is the Plastibell device. Ayan, so may ring now that will be placed under the foreskin. Ayan, so parang may sing-sing, tapos doon na siya tatahiin mismo. Doon na siya ikakat. Okay, so anyway, those 3 are surgically proven effective and hygienic. Ayan, so ang expect na lang natin is the recovery. So, typically, ang isang batang tinuli, isang taong natuli ay it will take around average of 2 weeks or maximum of 3 weeks para maging fully recovered na yan. So, initially sa umpisa, swollen yan, mapula, namamaga. So, meron lang mga ina-apply to prevent discomfort. Siyempre, pain reliever. Ayan. Tapos, dinedress, nililinis ng maayos. Ayan. At hindi muna pwedeng, siyempre, yung mga kabataan, hindi ka muna mag-basketball o magsuot ng brief. Ayan. So, pwedeng nilalagyan pa nga ng ice pack para ma-lessen yung pamamaga. Ayan. So, compare naman sa panganganak, sandali lang yan, minsan lang. Pero ang babae, pag nanganak, di ba? Paulit-ulit. Ayan. So, pag hindi siya nag-heal na sinabi natin around 2 to 3 weeks period, I better see your doctor para ma-double check. Baka naman there are some things na dapat maayos, like mga minor complications or mga bleeding. Ayan. But technically, circumcision is mabilis din gumaling dahil this has been being done even in the old times, di ba? So, what does the Bible say about circumcision at bakit daw ito ay importante? Aking pong kinuhanan ng source is from a blog by a Bible teacher named Pastor Ed Jarrett. Ayan, so nakita ko po to sa kanyang blog na tinatawag ng A Clay Jar. Okay? So, sabi niya, circumcision is mentioned frequently in the Bible. Alam naman natin. At ito nga po ay naging kasunduan ng ating Panginoon kay Abraham, no? Nung sinabi niyang dadami ang iyong lahi, pero unang-una nilang naging kasunduan ay kailangan magpatuli sa Abraham at the age of, I think, 75. So this has been the center of one of the controversies then and now sa bagong generation. So noon, sabi dito, so this is more than just a rite of passage dahil nung nagpatuli nga po si Abraham ay isa na siyang senior citizen, hindi siya nagbibinata. This is sa Jewish tradition, this is more of a sign of a covenant, kasunduan, okay? For being God's chosen people na ang pinanganinuno nga ay si Abraham. No? They are God's special treasure. So, si Abraham, nung ipinanganak ang kanyang unang anak si Ishmael, ay tinuli din niya, and the same thing with dun sa kanyang anak kay Sarah, si Isaac, ay tinuli din niya. So this has been an ongoing practice at nasabi natin kanina, this is being done on the 8th day after birth ng kanilang anak. At nung sila nga po ay dumami na at naging slave sa Egypt, Jews became deeply immersed in the Egyptian culture and religious practice. So baka nung time na yon ay marami na ring mga Jews na nakatira sa Egypt na hindi na nagpatuli. So nung sila po ay lumabas sa Egypt, papunta sa Promised Land, nirenew ito. So dun sa Jordan River, bago sila tumawid, ay bago talaga sila pumunta sa Promised Land, yung mga hindi patuli ay kailangang magpatuli. This is a reminder na they, as being a follower of God, no, the God of Abraham, kailangan nilang magpatuli. This is an essential part of being a Jew during that time. So, nung pong fast forward, no, in the near future, na invade sila ng mga iba't ibang lahi, particularly ng mga Greeks. Ayan, so ayaw nila ng circumcision. So, nung time na na-invade nila ang Israel, this has been an taboo. So, pag nagpatuli, they are punishable by death. Na kung saan nagkaroon nga po ng rebellion noon, no? They want freedom from that. They want to practice this cultural thing that they have been doing. So, nung dumating po ang mga Romano, ayan, they were allowed again. So, ito po yung history of circumcision sa bansang Israel. So, how about nung the New Testament Christians? Ayan na, nung dumating na si Jesus, at siya ay bumalik sa langit, so kumalat na Christianity, not just to the Jews, but even to the non-Jews. So noon, syempre of course, being a follower of Jesus, since most of them are still Jews, so they still follow etong tradition na nagpapatuli, being a covenant relationship sa ating Panginoon noon. So it's just natural na most early Christian Jews are circumcised. Pero nagkaroon nga po ng problema nang sila po ay kumalat na sa iba't ibang bansa. Okay, so pagdating nung panahon ni Paul, okay, lalo na doon sa Antioch, so nagkaroon na ng issue kung magpapatuli ba o hindi yung mga non-Jewish Christians. So, nung pagdating doon, hindi na requirement of being a Christian ang pagpapatuli. Because this is more of a cultural thing sa mga Jew. But it's an option for the Gentile believers, o ibig sabihin, non-Jew, kung gusto nilang magpatuli. So this has happened to the church in Antioch, ika nga, which are technically yung mga nandun ay hindi na sila mga Hudyo. So ito yung milestones with regards to circumcision. So technically sa Bible, no, nasabi talaga rin sa New Testament etong circumcision, but it has become more than a physical act. Okay, so basahin natin sa Romans chapter 2 verse 28. A man is not a Jew because he is one outwardly. Okay, syempre yun nga po yung tuli, physical tuli. Nor is circumcision only outward and physical. So mas malalim na dahilan na etong word na circumcision. Okay, yung pagtanggal. Kasi may tinanggal nga, di ba? Another verse is from Philippians chapter 3 verse 3. For it is we who are the circumcision. So yung circumcision it became more than a physical thing. It became a who, no? Hindi na what. Sabi niya, we who worship by the Spirit of God, who glory in Christ Jesus, and who put on no confidence in the flesh. So yun daw mga taong tunay na nananampalataya sa Panginoon. Ayan, na hindi na nagtitiwala sa flesh o sa sarili, sila daw ang tunay na circumcision. And last verse is from Colossians 2:11-12. In him you were also circumcised, not with the circumcision done by the hands of man, but with the circumcision done by Christ. So ibig sabihin, hindi na ito yung medical circumcision. Okay, this is more of a spiritual circumcision. Okay, rather than the cutting of a small part of the flesh, this is cutting off of our fleshly or human nature. Meron tayong dapat tanggalin. Okay, yung ating old human nature na kung saan we are fallen, na mas sinusunod natin yung pangsarili nating kagustuhan. Kaya nga sinabi niya, circumcision done by Christ, ibig sabihin, susundin natin na ang kagustuhan ng Panginoong Jesus. Dahil kung if we believe that Jesus Christ is our Lord and Savior, then we will follow His ways. Ayun. So, but technically, Jesus Christ, being a Jew himself, was circumcised 8 days after He was born. So, pwede natin kunin to in the context of physical obedience. Pwede rin natin kunin to in the context of spiritual obedience. So in conclusion, no, circumcision nowadays could mean different things to different people. To some, it was still a rite of passage from childhood to adulthood, no, sa mga kalalakihan. Okay, to others, this is merely a simple medical procedure, lalo na sa pediatrician, sa mga babies na madalas magkaroon nga ng UTI because of yung tinatawag nating phimosis, maliit nga po yung daluyan ng ihi. But to the Jews, no, this is a covenant sa kanila, kasunduan ng Panginoon, being God's chosen people. But to all followers of Jesus sa buong mundo, physical circumcision has no spiritual or religious value. For us, no, technically, no more about just being a spiritual, religious, or physical value. This is our closest circumcision now is the closest comparable thing to what Christ did, at kung gusto nga nating sumunod sa Kanya, be it physically, no, but more so be it spiritually, what He wants us to do, no, na sumunod tayo sa Kanya. Okay, so we view this as yung tulad nga po ng baptism, no, yung biblical form of baptism na pagsunod, no. So kung yung mga Jew, they relate to God with the form of circumcision done by Abraham. Now we relate to God with the circumcision done by Jesus Christ, no, na pagsunod sa Kanya. So yun po ang tunay na circumcision, no, circumcision of the heart. So kung gusto niyo mang ipatuloy inyong anak na lalaki for many reasons, ito po naman yung reasons of the Bible. So that's it po today sa ating programang Usapang Pangkalusugan. Nawa po sa sandaling panahon ay may naibigay po tayong linaw o mahalagang impormasyon tungkol po sa ating paksa sa araw na to. Dalangin ko po at patuloy po tayong mamuhay na malusog sa ating pangangatawan at ating kaisipan. Abangan niyo po muli ako sa susunod na Sabado. Dito lamang po sa ating programang Usapang Pangkalusugan sa 1143 DCMR, a proud member of KBP. Ating tandaan, ang ating kalusugan ay kayamanang di mapapantayan. Happy weekend po!